Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Charisse, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie, and I sent, as usual, a modest donation. If you decide you'd like to do this letter to video, I can be referred to as Charisse. Like before, probably about 6 months ago, you did my Narc family story video. I began it with what I had believed for nearly 6 decades were facts, that my mother came from Germans and my father was Mexican, and hence, me and my 5 siblings were half Mexican and half German Swede. But one day in recent weeks, it dawned on me, after I came across news articles, that misattributed paternity is being discovered as common. Narcs are not loyal, faithful types and are promiscuous as well, and also lie and lie by omission. So therefore, why would we believe any info we ever got from these kinds of parents? I went and paid one of those well-known DNA history testing labs for my genetic story results. I got them. It turns out that only nearly half of me is the combo of Swedish and native Indians in Mexico, a tiny % German. The other half of me is England, Wales, Scots, Russia, Ashkenazi Jew 1%. I'm stunned. Yeah, I wouldn't read all that much into that, especially when you're dealing with England, Wales. I mean, like, they were conquering each other. They were running roughshod. I mean, we all have this. You can't go nuts over these DNA tests. You really can't, because that's the purpose of them, is to drive you insane. My father is deceased since 2006. And I went no contact with my mother a year ago, who appeared to me to be quickly declining. I would not be surprised to learn that she had passed, so I cannot ask them anything. I am remembering the times I was in the hospital and they requested from me my father's health history. Now I wonder if I was completely non-applicable, if it was such completely non-applicable. I now wonder if such was completely non-applicable. All of us children have the skin color of half Mexican, but me and a couple brothers did not have my father's black hair nor big nose. Listen, Charlene's family is all dark. They're all black, and she popped out white, and she is absolutely their child. So you might be overthinking this, and these DNA, I hate these DNA tests. I hate them. You're giving your DNA over to a company that's probably giving it to the government. It's going in a database. And I did not resemble my sister in face, height, body type. She was always rejecting of me, especially after adolescence. She excluded me from her social life. My then unknown autism made me super shy and socially inept, but she had zero interest in taking me under her wing. We were like strangers living under a same roof. Now, granted, there was never a time in my life where my parents had a sit down with us and told us what we were. What we were was very gradually, nonchalantly picked up on via overheard conversations, visits to dad's side relatives over the course of years. Nothing ever overt. Ollie, I have my birth certificate. I was born at the end of the 1950s. Someone put that I'm just white. I don't look white. I had always wondered about that, but never occurred to me to outright ask my parent if I'm really theirs or dad's, and why white was put on my birth certificate when my skin color is that of Mexicans, because it was the 50s and your parents wanted you to have as much advantage as possible, so they listed you as white on the birth certificate. It's a racist answer, but it's probably the real one. I mean, you're talking in the late 1950s. That's why. Look, is it possible that your father's not your father, and there's a lie here, of course. With narcissism, that's always the issue. But understand, you're dealing with areas of the world that have conquered and reconquered each other over and over and over again. We're all got mixed blood. And then you throw in Mexico, okay, where you have your native Mexicans, the ones who were, you know, like the Aztecs and the Indians. And then you have your conquistador Mexicans who came over from Europe and conquered and learned how to speak Spanish, and now for some reason they're Mexicans because they speak Spanish, but they're whiter. They're whiter than most Caucasians in this country. So, like, you might be running up against a couple like just simple world history dynamics where people are conquering each other, and we all have like these weird mixed genealogies. Also, you're dealing with DNA testing companies that you don't know how legitimate they are. I mean, you had the head of one of these reputable DNA companies come out and try to make it look like Elizabeth Warren was a fucking Native American, was an Indian, was a Native American Indian, when it was 1024th of a possibility, and they didn't even run that up against actual Native American genealogy. They ran it up against Asian genealogy. So that goes to show you right there that they don't really know what they're doing. Now, it's still possible that your father, of course it is. Of course it is. Can you use this as a basis to ask a question? Sure, I would. But I don't think without an actual DNA test to find out if a blood test would have like, who's my father, who's my mother, you know, you're not going to get a straight answer from the DNA testing. You're just not. They're just not trustworthy enough. They're not reputable enough, because a lot of them, I think, tell people what they want to hear. You know, South Park did a great episode on it, which was my belief anyway. It's just, what % victim are you? That's all it is. It's people said, it's the DNA testing is for people who want to claim a victim status, but they don't want to put on a dress to do it, or go through, or take hormones to do it, you understand? So be careful with all this. You know, you could ask the question, but without an actual blood test from your parents, you're never really gonna know. You're never really gonna know. And I wouldn't base these hard feelings on this alone, especially when you got a mix of Welsh and all these Welsh and English and you're less German and Sweden. Listen, the Germans rough shot. You're gonna get it. The Germans are just rough shot over everybody. So they're able to claim genealogy all over Europe because they couldn't stop fucking trying to conquer people. So that kind of leaves it up in the air, but I hope that helps. Thank you, Charisse, for your contribution and your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this, or someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, Because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. He knocked the food over just so he can get at it. Now you're getting the water. Now that's what you get. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.